Is Year 3 too early to begin 11 plus preparation? One of the key reasons parents are hesitant to begin 11 plus preparation in Year 3 is due to stress and pressure associated with the test. While some children despise all tests and get incredibly anxious about them, others do not mind tests at all. I have seen, as a teacher, the influence that adults have on how children feel about tests. There are schools where the Year 6 SATs, which do not take place until May, are a huge part of the experience of Year 6 for their pupils. Parents get called in at the start of the year for SATs meetings. Children will start taking practice papers in September or October, and come the spring term, their mornings at least will be dedicated to SATs practice, and the children know it. The Year 6 becomes almost solely about the SATs. And also, in schools like these, subjects like science and history stop being important, or they stop happening at all. And maybe accidentally, maybe not, teachers in these schools will often refer to a child's progress and attainment in relation to the SATs. So, for example, well done, this score means you have met the expected standard for Year 6 in maths. Teachers, head teachers and governors are under pressure from their local authorities, league tables and Ofsted to get good SAT scores, but there is no need to pass this pressure on to children. And I've worked in a school that removes test pressure brilliantly. In this school, they do have a meeting with the parents in September where the parents are informed about the SATs and they're asked to help with things like reading at home. But after that, the SATs are literally not mentioned to the parents or children at all until the Easter break. These children still prepared for their SATs at school. The teachers still had to assess where their pupils were at and develop their pupils' maths and reading in order to have the best chance of reaching that magical SAT score of 100. But when these children were taking part in their SATs preparation and test papers, they didn't even know why, because they didn't need to. And none of the other subjects, like science and history, were reduced from this school's timetable until March. On the day of one of the tests, I remember asking a group of children how they thought their paper went, and all they wanted to talk to me about was the biscuits they'd had in the morning. The difference in stress levels among children in different schools can be vast, and I think that a lot of the test pressure and anxiety that children feel is hugely influenced by how their parents and teachers talk about tests. So my point is, I don't think Year 3 is too early to begin 11 plus preparation, as long as the pressure associated with the test is taken off the child. Children entering Year 3 this academic year who want to take it will take the 11 plus in September 2022. And if the adults responsible for their education, parents, teachers and tutors, spend the next 3 years viewing passing the test as the only educational goal that matters, and they constantly talk about the 11 plus, 11 plus, 11 plus, grammar schools, grammar schools, grammar schools, I think that many children in this situation will buckle under the pressure, and they will lose the inquisitiveness and the love for learning which will have got them to the point academically where going to a grammar school is even a consideration. There are 2 papers for the CSSE 11 plus. The English paper requires children to answer questions about a text extract, then answer verbal reasoning questions, and finally to complete a short controlled writing task, while the maths paper is largely focused on arithmetic questions and problem solving, particularly word problems, and there is a little bit of reasoning. The key elements needed to get a high score in the English paper are being able to read to an exceptionally high level, well beyond the typical 10 and 11-year-old, and to write succinctly and creatively with excellent levels of vocabulary and grammar. While the maths requires an excellent understanding of place value, calculations and fractions, and ability to work logically and methodically, and to do all of these things quickly and accurately. I will go into more detail about what my 11 plus group sessions will entail in a later video, but for Year 3 children, I will rarely mention the test at all. Instead, I will focus on the children making rapid and sustained progress, especially in their reading. Please don't hesitate to send me a message with any questions you have about the 11 plus, or to inquire about one-to-one 11 plus tuition or the small group 11 plus tuition, which I'll be starting in September. And please share this video with anyone who you think may find it useful or who may be interested in me tutoring their child. Thanks.